Hello, and welcome back to the Wild Side of Weight Loss podcast. I am your host, Leah Davidson, online nutrition and fitness coach and speaker. And I'm here to connect with women who are struggling with weight gain, who are struggling with low energy, and maybe some hormonal changes. And I want to help them to create sustainable weight loss so they can feel confident, present, and like themselves again. So it's the connection back to the wild woman within. And the wild woman is a archetype, the woman that lives deep inside of us at our core. And she is connected to herself. She is connected to the earth, to the people around her, and also connected to her passion and to her purpose. So when we lead our lives from the wild woman within, that is where we can truly feel fulfilled and reap the abundance of the life that we are living here on earth. And so my intention is to share my stories and my tools from my own experiences, because this is something that I had to learn. My weight loss journey quickly became a journey back to myself, back to connecting with myself and everything that I had just mentioned. And so I want to share my stories and my tools from my experiences so that you get to your goals faster and that you have someone in your corner cheering you on, AKA me. And so no matter where you are, where you have been, you deserve to have good health. And when you have good health, that is when we really find those deeper connections to ourselves, to the people around us. And at the end of the day, that's really all that matters, is the experiences, the connections that we make, the love that we feel, the love that we give. And so that is really what I'm all about and what this podcast is about. So if that resonates with you, you have picked the right spot. And so let's dive into today's episode. Today, I'm going to be talking about 5 myths/false beliefs that we have around dieting. And then I will finish with 5 things that will help you succeed at dieting and whatever your weight loss health journey is. So the first myth or false belief that we can have is that there is one perfect diet out there, that if we just find the right diet, that will be the answer. And so the reality of it is we are the ones that stand in our own way when it comes to dieting. And it's human nature. But even if we have the most perfect diet, if we aren't able to be consistent with it, it's not going to work. And so we can find ourselves jumping from diet to diet. Oh, we tried this one, it didn't work. My friend tried this one, she saw great results. And what I even see more of and what I experienced is that we can go on a diet, have success, but as soon as we stop that diet, then we either gain the weight back or gain back more than we had lost originally. And so what happens is any type of restricted diet that you're going to do, whether or not it's super healthy or not, whether it's keto, whether it's carnivore, whether it's doing shakes or specific supplements, anytime that you are restricting, going from, kind of a willy-nilly, whatever you were doing before, to something that's stricter and more structured, you are going to lose weight, hands down. But the problem is, the question that we have to ask ourselves is, can we do this diet, have these restrictions, have this structure? Is this something that we can do forever? And if the answer is no, then that's not the diet for us. And you may be thinking but it shouldn't have to be something that we do forever. I don't want to diet forever. And so when we think of what a diet is, it can be defined as a habitual way of eating. That's it. So there is stigma around the word diet, as if it's something that we're going to do once and we're going to be successful from there on in. No, a diet needs to be something that we can do forever. So I've said this before, is that if you love tacos and tequila and your diet does not allow tacos and tequila, it's probably not the one for you. So it's about finding what we can make work. And we'll kind of get into that as we go through the next 5. But yeah, so super important to know that there is not one end all be all diet. You just have to find the one that's right for you. Okay, so myth or false belief number 2 is I can't eat the same thing every day. And I get this time and time again with my clients, is that, we want to have food freedom. We have fear of missing out, that I won't be able to eat certain things, that I just can't eat the same thing over and over again. And I always ask myself this too and say, okay, when I think about a tub of ice cream in the freezer, like if I have it in my freezer, like you bet that I could eat ice cream every single day. In fact, I do. I bought a Ninja Creamy So my partner loves ice cream. And so when the Ninja Creamy came out, he's like, oh my gosh, we have to buy this. I think it was like $300 or something. And I was like, no, like that's so expensive. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we can just have it as a treat sometimes. And he was super insistent. And I was like, oh my gosh, you are so bougie, but whatever. So we buy the Ninja Creamy, and I swear that they should, sponsor me or sign me up to advocate for them, because I will scream it from the rooftops that if you are on any kind of a health journey and you love ice cream, to get a Ninja Creamy, because all I use is protein milk, protein powder, and a little bit of sugar-free Jello powder, and I will eat my protein ice cream every night. You can eat a whole pint. It's like 200 and something calories, and just add like a few mix-ins. So I usually do like mini chocolate chips. And so, yeah, so he makes fun of me now because I was so against it. And now I literally use it every single night, hands down, best purchase. So anyway, the purpose of this story is to tell you that if you find something that you really like to eat, and also eating things on repeat gets rid of decision fatigue. So when we're in a place where we are go, go, go all the time, we haven't planned, we haven't prepped, we can default to eating the things that have got us to this place where we want to lose weight in the first place. So, and the reality of it is that if you think about back to the meals that you make, you probably have 4, 5, or 6 meals that you make for yourself, for your family, that you have on rotation. You have your favorites, you have the ones that the kids like. There's probably not more than 10 meals in your repertoire. Maybe we try something random every once in a while, but in general, we have the same meals on rotation. Number one, because we like those meals. Number two, because we know how to make them. We know which ingredients we need. We don't have to look up recipes. It's super simple. And yeah, like lives are busy. So we want to uncomplicate nutrition. And so the same can go with preparing healthy meals. Once you find 4 to 5 healthy meals that you really like, you can have them on rotation. So you have 4 or 5 different dinners, you have 4 or 5 different lunches, different snacks. I have the same snack, which is my ice cream. And so, yeah, so we can get it in our mind that we don't want to repeat these meals and that they have to be boring. And it's like, no, like there's so many health foods out there that still taste really good. It's just a matter of finding them. And when it comes to meal prepping, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, is that, I was like, oh, meal prepping is so much work. And I remember, because I always meal prep on Sundays. So for the week, I'm all set up. So again, it gets rid of that decision fatigue. It's so easy to stick to my meal plan. I see results from it. And I remember like Saturday nights or Sunday morning having so much anxiety, being like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to waste my Sunday. It's so much work. But it's like anything. Like it's a skill that we have to build. And so as time went on, I just stuck with it. And now it's like, oh, okay, sweet. Like meal prepping, I plan it out. I have my list of meals that I like to make, and I spend a couple hours on Sunday morning. I've just gotten super efficient with it. So whether it's Saturday, whether it's Sunday, I hammer out my meal prep, and then I don't have to think about it for the rest of the week. And so just understanding that these are skills that you have to learn. It's not something that you should already know how to do. And there may be some resistance in the beginning and it may feel difficult, but you can totally do it. And with enough practice, it will feel just like automatic. So super encourage you guys to do that. If we treated the way we eat, or treated our jobs like the way we eat. So we have jobs because we have to live. The exchange is money. We go to work, we show up for money. What if we treated our diet like a job? Like the exchange is different. We're eating healthy. We're eating things on repeat. We are doing the work and we're showing up every day. And the exchange isn't money. The exchange is our health. The exchange is our confidence. The exchange is the experiences that we get to have with our health. The exchange is we don't have the stress of being in doctor's appointments, of not being able to get down on the floor, of barely being able to get out of bed because we're stiff and sore, of taking all these different medications and spending time and money doing that. Like that is the trade-off. And so if we treated our jobs like we're treating our diets now, like, I'm sorry, Mr. Manager, I can't do this same task every day. Like, I know you hired me to do this task, but I can't do it every day. It's boring me. I got to go do something else, right? Or, oh, you know what? Like, I just screwed up today. It's Tuesday and I made a mistake at work. screw it. You know what? I'm going to leave work and I will come back in on Monday morning and we will just start fresh then. We kind of treat our diet that same way. We're like, oh, I can't eat the same thing over. I don't feel like cooking. Like, how many days do we get up and don't want to go to work? Like every single day. But if we don't work, then we can't live. We don't have money. And so the same thing. Oh, I don't feel like cooking today. I don't feel like this. It's like, we're never going to feel like doing it. We're never going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get up and go grocery shopping and then cook these meals and then clean up and then do dishes. It's never going to be like a woohoo. But when we think about what this is giving us, the freedom that we're having during the week, not to have to think about what we're doing, not to have to feel guilty about the food that we're eating, not to have to do a bunch of dishes, because we've already prepped and planned it out. So I know I'm rambling a little bit. I hope that makes sense. And then finding that 80-20. So this kind of goes back to finding the diet that works for you. So 80% of the time you're on meal plan, you're following your meal prep. And then that 20% of the time, hey, maybe I want to have a bag of chips, or maybe I want to go out for dinner with my family or with my girlfriend and we want to, have a glass of wine or something. That's totally fine. But 80% of the time, we're eating on top of our meal plan. For a while there, I would do like all of my normal meals I'm eating at home. And then if something comes up, like a special occasion, like a family dinner, like somebody invites me out to go to a restaurant, then I would go and I wouldn't stress about it because I know that every other time I am at home on my meal plan. And so those are just a couple tips for you. That is the I can't eat the same thing every day. So the two myths and false beliefs we have so far is one, diet being the answer of everything, which it's not. We just need to find something we can be consistent at. Number two is I can't eat the same thing every day. If you find foods that you enjoy, if you keep things on rotation, then you will be able to repeat your meals. And we're already doing the same thing anyway. And just know that the exchange that we get from eating the same foods frequently that we really like is a whole lot of freedom, a whole lot less decision fatigue, and healthier bodies and more confident bodies. Okay, so the third myth or false belief is I am not hungry. Okay, so let's talk about this. Again, so many of my clients, I experienced this in my past, is like, Leah, like I'm just not hungry. I just don't like to eat. And I think that we believe that we have these really dominant hunger cues, that if I'm hungry, I'm just going to feel this rumbling in my belly. And as we get older, our bodies age. And it's something that I didn't think about before until someone told me, but our organs age as well. And so our digestion slows down, our hunger and satiety cues as we get older, they change. So they change depending on how often we're eating meals, on how active we are, if our metabolism is messed up, if our hormones are dysregulated, we will feel hunger in different ways, or we won't even get the cues that make us feel hungry. And so the question that we need to ask ourselves is, does my body need fuel? Our body is going through processes all day, every day. We are a machine that needs fuel and we need it frequently. And so switching that to, am I hungry or does my body need fuel? So for me, what I teach, what works for me, what works for my clients is that we eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and supper, and a snack. I give myself like a 4-hour window. If it's been 4 hours, then I know I need to get food in me. Now, if we're waiting too long, if we're like, I don't feel hungry right now, or I'm busy, I'm not going to eat, when we're not paying attention to our food timings, that is when things can go off the rails, because all of a sudden it's maybe like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon and we haven't eaten anything. Well, then we've gone from I don't feel hungry to now I'm famished and I'm going to eat everything in sight. I don't care what it is. So that's what makes it really hard to stay on a healthy meal plan too. And then also learning new cues is that your body is going to give you different clues as to how you're hungry. So it may not be a rumble in the tummy, but this kind of comes back to reconnecting with ourselves and just really taking time to listen to our bodies and how we are functioning. And so our different hunger cues, like my main hunger cue is fatigue. I will start yawning. I will feel like I didn't get any sleep last night. Like my energy just starts to drop. So I know if it's the middle of the day and I start to yawn, that I know that my body is looking for food. Hanger is a good one. So if you find yourself like a short fused or biting off people's heads, That can be a pretty good indicator that your body is lacking nutrients and looking for fuel. And so just listening to your body and realizing that it may not be the cue that you're looking for. Brain fog is also one. If you are walking to a room, you forget why you went into that room. If you're just like, oh, my brain just can't keep up today, that could be a sign that your body is lacking nutrients and just needs more fuel. Having a consistent eating schedule will help strengthen your hunger satiety cues, being more in tune with when you're actually hungry, with when you're feeling full. So if you give yourself 4 hours maximum in between your meals. And I know there's lots to say about fasting, intermittent fasting. That is a whole episode on its own. But for me, as someone who really likes to eat, as somebody who wants as much flexibility as possible, it's something, again, that I can stick with long term. That is what works for me. If you decide that, oh yeah, fasting, it works for me, then that needs to be something that you can stick with like always and forever. And fasting can kind of raise problems of its own if your fast is done and you don't have access to food, or you don't have access to enough food, or you haven't meal prepped anything. And again, you have to grab something really quick. So again, you're looking for something that you can sustain for the rest of your life. So yes, so we have diet is not the answer. I can't eat the same thing every day. The third one we just covered is I am not hungry, which again, you may not be feeling hungry, but once you start eating good food, that's going to be fueling you. When we eat food that doesn't have a lot of nutrients in it, if we're eating fast food, if we're eating highly processed food, that can really mess up our hunger satiety cues as well, because our body has now ingested food that it can't really use for fuel. So we get digestive issues. We're bloating. We feel super full. We do feel lethargic, but that's because our body's trying to process this food that isn't actually giving us energy. It's not fueling our cells. It's not fueling our digestion. It's not fueling our body moves, our energy. And so that's something that can also mess with our hunger satiety cues, is that we feel full, but in reality, it's just bloating and our stomach's feeling yucky. So, okay. The fourth myth or false belief is that if I am dieting, I have to restrict calories and eat very little. So there was a time where the 1,000 calorie diet or the 1,200 calorie diet was all the rage. All you have to do is just eat little calories and you'll lose weight. Now, it is true that if we're eating less calories than we're burning, we will lose weight. But there's a caveat to that. Again, how long can you sustain only eating 1,000 calories? So that's number one. Number two is the lower amount of calories that we eat for a long period of time, your body and your metabolism will also start to lower to match the amount of food that you're eating. So if you're eating very low calories, you can't eat it. You can't stay there for a very long time. We have to come back up. We have to raise the metabolism back up. We have to give our body the energy that it needs. So eating restrictive calories for a long period of time doesn't work. Also, for some people, like for me, who loves to eat food, it's like, oh my gosh, I can only lose weight if I'm eating very, very little food. What's great to think about is that the healthier the food that you're eating, the more food that you get to eat. So when you think of like a chocolate bar, so like a Reese's Big Cup chocolate bar has 2 big cups in it. It's like 400 calories. But I can eat a full meal of like rice, quinoa with beef or steak and broccoli with a sauce on top, and that will be 400 calories. And the portion is like huge. So it's not about eating less food, it's about eating less calories. And you want your food to have as much nutrients as possible in it. So on the other side of that, getting back to the I am not hungry, or someone telling me like, I don't eat very much, why am I gaining weight? Well, maybe the food that you're eating, it may be little, like a chocolate bar, but it's really high in calories. So you feel like you're not eating very much because the volume of food is so low. Like a handful of trail mix, right? You have like nuts and a couple chocolates in there. Like a handful of trail mix is 300 calories. So we're eating little amounts of food and you're like, Leah, I'm eating so little. I'm not losing weight. What is going on? It's because you are eating small portions, but the calories are high and it's processed food that your body can't use for energy and fuel. So what's happening? We're overeating in calories and our body is not converting that food into fuel. So we're still feeling tired. We're still feeling lethargic. We're getting bloated and feeling gross, and we're not getting to eat very much. So we get stuck on that hamster wheel. I have been there before where my breakfast will be a venti mochaccino that's got 400 calories in it, and then a light salad, and I am starving and I need to eat more, but the food that I'm eating is high in calories. So that's number 4. If I'm dieting, I have to restrict and eat less food. Not the case. Healthier the food, the more food that you get to eat, 4 hours or less apart, you can still enjoy lots of different foods and lose weight. Okay, the last myth or false belief that we have is dieting isn't working because of my hormones. And as women, we go through so many hormonal changes, menstrual cycles, having babies, postpartum, menopause, perimenopause. The fluctuation is hard. It's stressful on our body. It messes with our mood. We just don't feel like ourselves. I will tell you, as soon as it's the week before I'm going to have my period, I am so hungry. I can't eat enough food. So the best way that we can support our hormones are the same fundamentals as it is for weight loss, is we need to eat protein. We need to eat our plants, fruits and vegetables. We need to exercise. We need to sleep consistently. We need to eat on a consistent basis. We also need to be mindful of the processed foods that we're eating. Going long periods of time without eating, blood sugar spikes, being over caffeinated, overstimulated. All of these things that we use for weight loss also help to improve and provide an environment where our hormones can thrive. So weight loss and hormone dysregulation are the symptoms of living in a way that isn't doing service to our body, moving in a way that's not doing service to our body, eating in a way that's not doing service to our body. So they are one and the same. You start taking care of your weight and your health, your hormones are going to start to regulate. Now, it may not be able to stop all the hot flashes that you're having and some of those like really severe menopause symptoms, but it is going to help minimize them and help you just feel like yourself again, coming back to yourself, taking care of your body, taking care of your vessel. If you're having hormone dysregulation, great. Stay on what you're doing, because you're doing the right thing by taking care of your body, and taking care of your body, the weight loss will come. It has no choice but to come. So those are the 5. One diet is not the answer. I can't eat the same thing every day. I'm not feeling hungry. If I'm dieting, I have to eat like 1,000 calories, not the case. Or I have to eat very little food, not the case. And then dieting isn't working because of my hormones. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. So my big 5 tips that I can give you in regards to these is, number 1 is to repeat your meals, which we've talked about. Find meals that you love, have them on repeat. And social media is so great for this. I use Instagram and Facebook, and I will just search in, like, so say your favorite meal is pizza. I love pizza. I want to have it today. There is a healthy version of every single meal out there. So you can find healthy ways to make pizza, whether it's with a chicken breast crust, which is super high protein. You can use tortilla shells as your crust. You can use low fat cheese. Like, there are so many healthy ways that you can eat the foods you love. There are so many substitutions. Leah, I love pasta. I don't want to give up pasta. Great. Don't give up pasta. There is high protein pasta. There is gluten-free pasta. So it's about finding the substitutes that you need. Are you lacking protein in your diet? Is the pasta that you're eating making you bloated and feel like crap? Maybe it's the gluten in it. So making those swaps. There's less sugar, high protein chocolate milk. There is less sugar, high protein yogurt that you can use in so many recipes. So pick recipes that you love and type it in and go healthy pizza, healthy chicken strips, whatever the case may be. Utilize your social media. And it's funny because my social media I have the opposite ends of both of the spectrum. It's like, I love food. I am a huge sweet tooth girl. I love baking. I love burgers. So and I don't know what it is on social media. Mukbangs, I think they're called, but it's basically people who sit in front of a camera and have like all this delicious, super unhealthy food in front of them, and they just videotape themselves like eating it. And so I have a lot of those, because as soon as you stop on one of those videos, the algorithm will keep showing you these videos. And so, yeah, here I am trying to eat healthy, and all of this is showing up on my social media. One of the girls who does them, I read her description, and it said that when she was on her weight loss journey and it was late at night and she felt like eating, she would actually watch these videos of people eating, and it helped her not to. So I don't know, maybe that works for some people. It might. So it's getting to know like who you are and what works for you and what doesn't. So I have a lot of those videos on my Instagram, but I also have so many videos of like this healthy chicken salad meal prep or these healthy breakfast sandwiches or muffins, or like so many things are in my algorithm because I click on them and I save them. And so they keep coming up. So the more that you watch, the more that you click on, the more that you search, your algorithm is going to show you more of those things. So find some meals that you love, put them on repeat, get really good at making them. Your meal prep will go by so fast, which brings me to number 2, which is meal prepping. If there was one thing in the world that I could choose, is meal prep. And that is what worked for me because I'm a busy girl. I have a kid, I have a dog, I have a partner, I have a job. Some of you ladies have 3, 4 kids and you work full time and you have a big house to take care of and to clean and to do laundry. And so trying to figure out what we're going to make for meals adds so much stress. And it's like, no wonder we can't stick to our meal plan. It's not your fault. You're a busy girl. And then we get down on ourselves and be like, oh, I just have no willpower. Why can't I do better? I should be able to do this and this and this. And it's like, no, girl, it's not you. We have super busy lives. And so if you can take a few minutes, I do this on Friday is I plan my meals. I go through my social media. I go through my recipe history of things that I want to make. I plan them out. Saturday, I order my groceries. I click and collect. I will shout this from the rooftops. I will die on this hill. You can sit in on your couch in your pajamas with a cup of coffee and do your grocery shopping. You don't have to get up. You don't have to go anywhere. You're not getting distracted by things you don't need, the shiny things on the shelf. So you're saving yourself money. Plus, you're not buying a bunch of things that you really don't need. And so it just saves so much time. I actually get my groceries delivered right to my door. It costs like 60 to 80 bucks for a year, and that is unlimited. And I get groceries delivered every single week. So for me, it's worth it. To pick up your food, it's free. So Walmart does it, Superstore does it. I'm sure there's places in the States that do it. You can do it via Instacart. So save yourself the time, save yourself the stress, girls. Just treat yourself. They have those services out there. It's amazing. If you live out of town, then yes, click and collect, pick up your groceries. So Friday, I plan my meals. Saturday, I get all my groceries in the house. And then Sunday morning, all I have left to do is just execute. It takes me a couple hours from start to finish, maybe 3, but that's like food made in containers, in the fridge, kitchen cleaned up. And now I'm going into my week. I know I'm going to hit my goals. I don't have to stress about it. Life is good. So repeat your meals, have some on rotation, meal prep. Number 3 is protein and plants. Prioritize protein and plants, the double P's, triple P's if you add in prioritize. Every meal that you eat, start with protein. That's usually what takes the longest. That's usually we have to prep more. We have to defrost it. We have to cook it. We have to season it. So plan your protein first. Meat is always going to be your best heavy hitter. Dairy is going to be your second runner up. Cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, low fat cheeses. Like you can make so many things from them. Protein and plants, anything that grows in the ground or comes from a tree. So vegetables, fruit, potatoes, every single meal that you have should include both of those. Even if you're not tracking, even if you don't have a specific plan in place, if you make that one swap, like get yourself a scale and have like at least 100 grams of a fruit and or a vegetable at every meal. If you eat your vegetables, things that have low sugar in them, if you eat those before the rest of your meal and then eat your protein, it will keep your blood sugar spikes down. So repeat your meals, meal plan and prep, prioritize protein and plants. Number 4 is to track your food. So whether you are using an app, apps are so great these days. A lot of them, you can just take pictures of your food and it will literally log everything for you. I use Chronometer. If you've never used it before, check it out. Very user friendly. Maybe you just want to journal. You want to write down in a notebook. Write down what time you ate, and what you drank. Maybe you just want to take pictures of your food. Take pictures. And the reason why you do this is that if somebody asks me what I did on the weekend, sometimes I can't even remember what I did last weekend. We don't remember everything that we're eating. We're blindly putting food in our mouth. We're walking past the counter, grabbing whatever's there. And we may think that we're eating healthy, or we may think that we're not eating very much. But when we actually keep track of everything we're eating, you will learn so much about yourself. I encourage you, just do this exercise. If you don't know where to start, just take a journal and write down what you're eating for like 5 days. Make one of those days a weekend day and just watch yourself and you will know what you need to tweak. Pick one thing first. If you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I've had 5 sodas this week. Okay, I'm going to drop that down to 3 sodas this week. So just start with something very small and work your way up. And you could even start by adding things, not even eliminating things. Okay, so I had 3 lunches this week that didn't include protein. Okay, my goal for this week is to add one more protein into one of my lunches this week. So just as soon as you become aware, as soon as you actually take note of what's going on, you will be able to make changes so well. Okay, so we have repeat meals, meal prep, protein and plants, track your food. And then the last one I have is to move. The best thing that you can pair with your diet is movement. We are humans. Again, let's get back to our wild selves. Let's get back to what our bodies were designed to do. When we were out in the wild, we had to be moving all the time to avoid danger, to avoid dangerous animals. We had to hunt and forage. We had to build our structures and our homes, and we were constantly on the move. So our human bodies were made to move. And now we have all these amazing advances in technology and all these amazing conveniences. We get up from our desk that we're working at into our car that drives us to the store to buy whatever food that we want. And we have become more busy than ever, but we have become more sedentary than ever. So getting back into that mindset, how can I move my body? Like, I don't need to go and kill myself in the gym for 3 hours. Can I get up and go for a 5-minute walk during my lunch break? Can I take the stairs instead of the elevator? Can we go for a family walk after dinner today? Can I take a yoga class or a spin class or do a 5-minute YouTube video for abs or something? Or maybe it's just, I'm going to turn on my music and I'm going to dance like nobody's watching and get my heart rate up that way. So just finding every excuse you can. Maybe I'm just going to park at the back of the parking lot at the grocery store so that I get more steps in. So finding ways to move that are fun, like doing things with your kids. Maybe you want to climb tree. Maybe you want to throw a baseball around or a volleyball or kick the soccer ball back and forth. And your kids will love you for it. That's the best. Like, that's what my son wants. That's his love language, is doing activities together. So pairing movement as much as you can with your diet, and just find a way that is fun for you, that makes sense to you, that's easily accessible to you, and things will really start to change. So I know that episode got a little long. I hope this gave you some good tips and tricks and kind of gave you a different perspective on the way that we look at diets and the way that we are fueling ourselves. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you in the next episode.